Sometimes in knitting, you will need to add stitches to your work within your row. And there are several ways to do this, but today we are going to look at a very common way to do this, which is the make one right and make one left increase. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a make one right increase. We're going to work our edge stitches. Here I have 2. And then I am going to go down into this space between these 2 stitches on my needle. You'll see that there is this leg stretching between the 2 of them, or this bar stretching between the 2 of them. And when I pull on it, it tightens the stitch on my left needle. I'm going to go ahead and pick this up and place it on my left needle by dipping my left needle in and under from the back of the loop. Now you can see that there is a shorter leg in front and a longer leg in back. And I'm going to go ahead and knit into that shorter leg. If it's a little tight, you can go ahead and use your forefinger along the back of that longer leg to just push it forward and get your needle up in there as normal. And knit. Now added 1 stitch. You'll knit until it's time to add another stitch. So we're going to knit here until there are 2 stitches left on my needle. And now we are going to do a make one left increase to continue this left leaning shape we are creating. So we are going to once again go down into space between these 2 stitches on our needle and locate this bar that runs between them. When we pull on it, it will tighten the stitch that is on our left needle. And this time we are going to go into it with our left needle from the front. I'm going to put that on our left needle so that the longer leg is in the front and the shorter leg is in the back, facing away from us. Now with left leaning increases, we are always going to be knitting through the back loop to get a neater appearance. So what that means is that we're going to knit through this back shorter leg instead of the front leg we would normally knit through. So I'm going to push my index finger against that longer front leg to create some extra space in the back. And I'm going to put my needle in through that back loop so you can see along the back of my work and along the front. It's through that back loop. Wrap the yarn like I would for a knit stitch normally, and I'm going to slide it off the left needle. I've now created a left leaning stitch, and I'm going to finish up my row. So I will see you guys again in a couple of rows, and we will work those increases again. All right, so we are back around and ready to work our make one right again. And that's going to continue the way that this is growing towards the right. It's going to continue the way that we did the make one left over here. It's going to continue the way this is growing towards the left. So right here, we are going to look at our work. We're going to locate the V's of each stitch, the bar in between. We're going to pick it up and give it a tug to make sure it tightens this stitch on our left needle, and then we are going to go in from back to front, here to put the shorter leg in front, the longer leg in back, and then we are going to knit as normal for a make one right increase. And we're going to knit to the end of our row and do another knit, make one left. You may commonly see these increases used on either side of a stitch marker for a raglan sweater, or like on a neck scarf to shape one or both sides as it grows. But wherever you see it, it'll be the same. So here we are at our make one left. You can see these two stitches with the little V right below the loops on our needles. We're going to go down into the ditch in between and pick up that leg. It'll tighten the stitch on our left needle here, and we will go in from front to back and pick up that stitch off our right needle and put it on our left. At this point, we will have the longer leg in front and the shorter leg down the back of the stitch. We're going to knit it through the back loop. So we're going to push that forward and insert our needle through the back loop knitwise, like this. And we are going to wrap knitwise, pull that through, and finish our row here. The make one right and make one left increases can also be worked purlwise. This is something that you will see in a lot of knitting, but a few common places are within ribbing, cables, or lace. So it works the same, but we will be moving our yarn to the front of our work and purling our stitch instead of knitting it. So we are going to pick up that bar in between our two stitches. We're going to place it on the left needle. We're going to go in from back to front still for this make one right purl. So the short leg is in the front, the longer leg is in the back, and we are now going to purl this stitch. Where we would have knit the make one right, we will purl the make one right purl. And so now we have increased a stitch. It is once again a right leaning increase. And let's try that again. So we have these two distinct stitch columns. We're going to reach down in between them, pull on that bar, it'll tighten the stitch on the left needle. We're going to pick it up from back to front so that the shorter leg is in the front, the longer leg is in the back. We're going to work a make one right purl, so we're going to move our yarn to the front of our work, and we are going to use our index finger if needed to push that forward and loosen it up a little bit and create some space for us to get our needle in there. Kind of helps to go up and under as well. And we are going to then purl that stitch. And let's do that again. So we've got our two columns of stitches, in this case knit stitches, and we're going to reach our needle down into the bar between them and pick it up with our left needle from back to front, we'll have a short leg in the front, a long leg in the back, and move our yarn to the front of our work, loosen that with our index finger, stitch with our index finger as needed, and purl. And now we will go ahead and work a make one left purl increase. So you can see we have our two distinct stitches, and once again we're going to pick up the bar between them. It's going to tighten up on the left needle when we pull on it, and as we did for the make one left, we're going to take our left needle and go in from front to back so that the short leg is along the back of our needle away from us, and the long leg is along the front of our needle towards us. And now, instead of knitting this like we did for the make one left, we are going to purl it for the make one left purl. So we're going to bring the yarn forward, but remember, with left leaning increases, we work through the back loop, not the front loop. And it's important to remember also, just with our make one increases, with make one left, you're working through the back, and with make one right, you're working through the front. And you'll just remember that as you're working through the short leg every time with your make one increases. So that shorter leg is what you're working with. So purling is always parallel. So we're going to go in through the back loop towards the tip of our other needle. So we're going to loosen that stitch by pushing that long leg away from that needle, and then we're going to bring our needle kind of up and under and pick up that stitch. So you can see they are parallel. We are now going to wrap the yarn as if to purl and pull that back through as if to purl and off of the left needle. And let's try that again. So we're going to look between these two stitch columns for this bar, and we're going to pick it up from front to back. The short leg is in the back, the long leg is in the front, so we know that we are working a make one left increase, in this case a make one left purl. So we are going to purl through the back loop by loosening that stitch and inserting our needle, wrapping as if to purl, pulling it through the loop and off of our needle. And let's try that just one more time. So we will insert our needle and pick up that loop from front to back. We are doing a make one left purl, so we're going to bring our yarn to the front and purl through the back loop. And there we go. So we have added those increases, and if you look, you can see that instead of knit stitches, they have little purl bumps. You can see there is one of our make one right increases, and there is one of our make one left purl increases, and they still lean to the right and the left.